Good evening, all, and welcome to Kal-bardr's Corner for this first episode of Three Former Fat Guys. Buckle in for an hour of ridiculous, 60 minutes of chaos, 2 half hours of pure fun. I am Baron Kal-bardr, and for this show, I'll be joined by two gentles that are no strangers to a tall tale or sharing a drunken story or sharing a tall drunken something.
I'm not that tall.
That's fair. First of all, to my right, from the Kingdom of Glenalbin, the Duke of Fuck Yeah, Duke James the Holy. And to my left, hailing from the Kingdom of Atlantia, you guys may know him as a Westie, but he moved and abandoned y'all, Viscount Fearghus McArt. Good evening, fellas.
Howdy.
So, both of you have been on shows with me before, but I would like you to introduce yourselves because we do have some new viewers watching. So,
sorry,
Grace, since you are the reigning the ranking member, you'll go first.
I'm James Lestrange, called the Holy. I would just like to say that my actions and verbiage tonight are in no way indicative of the Dukes of the Society, Knights of my Kingdom, but are probably pretty fucking spot on with any Pelican you'll meet. So
there you go. Fergus, go take it away.
I am Sir Fearghus McArt. Taking off of what His Grace said, I am a Knight of the West. I now live in Atlantia, and all my verbiage is mine, and I don't give a shit about anything else because I ain't good enough to beat somebody's ass in crown. So whatever.
There you go. All right. So my volume is lower than theirs. All right, hold on. I can adjust that. Whip, 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 whip. Apparently, I don't talk loud enough. We got to fix that.
Well, as long as we can mute you, he and I can handle this.
You can't though, because guess who's got the button? I've still got the button. It's the fucking best.
Or Lito or something.
There you go. All right.
Already used it on me. I saw it.
I'm just setting the precedence now for you, Fergus, so you understand
who
has the control.
Finger right there. I guess it went off. I don't know what happened. It just went off.
All right. For those of you watching, first of all, I want to apologize on behalf of both of my guests and myself for having rescheduled this show like 3 fucking times. Between somebody dying and somebody having to do somebody getting elevated and we've had a lot of issues.
People need to suck less and stop breathing and stop getting knighted, and we can fucking do cool shit, right? I mean, for fuck's sake.
That's fair. But the plan is to make this a monthly show, and it's going to be completely ridiculous. If you are watching, please let us know you're watching, where you're coming in from, who you are, that sort of thing. Because lots of you have weird names on YouTube, so I can't yell at you properly if I don't know who you are. As the banner said, we will be using offensive language. Fergus has the record for both being muted on my show and dropping them like 300-something F-bombs in a single 2-hour episode.
338, I believe.
So it's a lot. So just be prepared for that. It's coming. And if you have requests, if you know either of these two gentles and have requests for stories of theirs, please drop them in the comments and we will try to address them as we can hit it.
All statutes of limitations are over on mine, I think, so I'm good.
Yeah. And my mother's listening, so hi, Mom. Gonna throw that out
sorry,
there.
Mom.
There you go.
He chose this. Right here.
He's a sweet
Your
boy.
son
He's
makes
such a
poor
sweet boy.
decisions. Poor decisions on friends. Poor.
She knows this. Let's see. Oh, and quick shout out to Bronzehelm and other folks in Montana. I know you guys are having floods out there currently. Remote is one of them, is dealing with that. So if you're underwater currently, we appreciate you tuning in and try to not drown. We'll go with that.
Tina, thank you for saving Mom and Dad or offering to help.
There you go. All right, so we're going to jump right into some stories. First of all, Your Grace, you have a weird name there. I love the Holy If You Nasty. I'm going to ask, where did you get the name James the Holy? So you're James Lestrange the Holy. Where the hell did that come from?
It was his son.
So, I mean, so when I started the SCA, I had a shit ton of piercings and stuff like that. Little punk kid, jumped in and wanted to be a crusader. So I was running around in my little monk's robe with all my piercings and shit. And I hadn't picked a name yet. And if you don't pick a name, somebody's going to give it to you. So I was running around. I think it was a board race. And running into this pack of chicks who was like, oh, a newbie. And they kind of took me in and thought they were going to corrupt me. But but they thought it was funny because they're like, Crusader and the piercings, James the Holy, right? So that's where it came from. So, and it stuck, and sounds pretty bitchin'. So.
Yeah, no, I think I forget like your name is James Lestrange, like it's a thing. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing when you introduce yourself because you're holy.
I hear that more than anything. Like he might try to get my attention. James, you're great. James, usually it's just holy, and I'm like, fucking what, So.
That's fair. All right, Fearghus, as expected.
Really? Right out the box.
That fast.
Like boom, like you can't lead in with the best one, right? Like the one that makes me look like a complete utter idiot. You got to warm up to that. It's like you don't go right to home run, right?
I always say that too. When people come up and they're like, "Tell me the story," I'm like, "You don't walk up to Neil Diamond and be like, give me Sweet Caroline.' Like you don't do that.
Yeah. Breathe in, right? Little rubbing on the outside of the clothes first. We don't just go right in, like. Trust me, that doesn't go well, and you get punched. I don't know what happened, but I might have got punched. I don't know.
Oh, your wife's gonna hit you. Just gonna say that now.
No. I have a contract. She can't hate me.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
See, get him under contract first, right? Yeah.
Does that work? I gotta go.
All I gotta say is she must have been drunk for 14 years because we were together 14 years before we got married, and she still made that bad decision. I'm like. I proved to you how fucked up I could be, right? Like you had, and you still said yes. So I'm out, right? Like I'm free. Woo!
That's fair. I wanted to bring something up. So, and then we'll dive into some more stories. So this show is called Three Former Fat Guys. And to those of you who don't know us individually may not understand why the show is called that. And also why we're going to have some guests on, but I have a very limited guest list for the show. So anybody who knows us or who knows us from years ago, we all used to be excessive individuals.
Oh, we should take pictures and show people because people.
We do. I think we need to all find fat pictures of us and use that as a slide one day. But yeah, so we all share some background with that, and we've discussed it. There was some before the show discussing of drinking and things, and I'm sure some of that's going to come up here in a minute. So that's the theme of the show. And hence why there's donuts in the background. It's not much more than that. It really was just an excuse to get these two assholes on the camera together. Really was the goal here. It seemed to work. But I have a couple others that I've talked to since I pitched this show that have like, oh my God, I want to be on this. So Drogo is I'm going to bring him on at some point.
Yeah.
He just started his fat guy journey.
I got one that would be fucking hilarious. My buddy Gunther. He had his surgery before me. He and I are like two peas in a. Oh my Jesus Christ! Like, I don't think the internet's ready for that shit. And I know there's porn for everything out there. I don't think the internet's ready for that shit.
The UN Gunther porn? I don't need that. No.
We were going to make a fishing show called Fuckbag and Mr. Miko, and he's Mr. Miko. Because I asked my wife one day, I'm like, babe, I want a cutesy name because his wife gave him a cutesy name like Mr. Miko, and she goes, "What? Fuckbag doesn't count?" I'm like, whoa. Like, so that was my cutesy name for my wife. Hey, fuckbag. Oh, hey, how you doing?
I get that too, but I tell my wife, I'm like, I need some name that I'm not going to get a half erection in public with.
Hey, a pretty girl's talking to me. I'm getting it already, right? Like, I don't give a shit. She can say Jane, I'm still like, oh, sorry.
I expect Joan to pop in at some point and forget you're on camera and try to talk to me again.
She's having like a girls' weekend.
Okay.
So like, a bunch of her friends are in town, so like there's this big estrogen fest. So I'm like, I'm trying to musk up this room as much as possible. But my fear is I musk it up too much. That's a mistake because the doors open and that wafts out and that hits the aromatic and all the ladies in the house. Too much musk, you make soup in their panties. So you gotta be a little careful.
Yeah, my wife just kicks me out. She's like, "You need to go fucking fishing. Get out."
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of being former fat guys, we've been asked for some fighting stories. So a fighting story from when you were bigger and one from now. Fearghus, you cannot tell the man taco story. I'm just gonna eliminate that one now.
That wasn't a fat story. That was Thorfinn turning a human being into a fucking food.
Right. All right. So James, do you have any good comparison stories from bigger to now fighting?
Man, so So one thing people don't think about when you lose a bunch of weight is you change your equipment. Obviously, like your head gets smaller, your feet get smaller, like a bunch of weird things that you just don't account for, right? Putting a helmet on and stuff like that. Like, oh, my helmet's fucking bigger now because I lost head fat. My shoes are too big. I lost fucking feet fat.
The
one
feet
thing
fat is the weirdest fucking part for me.
Yeah, fucking feet fat.
Yeah.
So
I
like
got, a full shoe size.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was kind of used to all that because like going to the gym and other stuff like that. So I had to change my shoes and just I box a lot. So like headgear stuff, I was kind of weird at things. The first real time though that I was like, hey, I need to armor up and stuff like that. I had changed my lamellar and something that I could adjust as my weight went down, all that stuff. I'm like, I'm fucking golden. The one thing I didn't account for was my compression shorts. And when you have a fucking size 50 something waist and you've gotten down to a 38 and you got these what used to be compression shorts, they're just kind of floating around like Baja pants and your cup is just fucking dingling around.
They're capris.
That is something you don't fucking think about. And when you fucking step wrong and you bash your own fucking shield in your cup and you get a fucking gooch bruise because you lost weight, that's an accomplishment.
Okay.
Man. I feel you.
No. So yeah, that's my one biggest difference I've noticed in my fighting is my cup. How my cup sits and the fact that it actually fits finally. Because
I mean, don't get me wrong, ladies, it still fills out just a band on it,
That's right.
But he just bought smaller socks and put more in there.
That's right.
Bingo. And buy them in bulk now at Walmart. It's easier. All right, Fergus, what about you?
Fighting from when I was big to when I was small. When I was big, the guy I told you about, Gunther, Jeff, when he and I were together, we were a unit of measure in the West Kingdom. They would build bridges and be like, that's a Gunther and a Fearghus or a 2 Gunther bridge. Like, seriously, we were huge. Right? So Gunther had his surgery, lost a bunch of weight, and we used to just run people over. Just that's all we did. We didn't know really how to fight well. We were just 1,000 pounds of human beings moving forward, right? So we would smash people, and then Gunther got his surgery first. We went out, and he decides after coming back to fight, he goes, I'm going to go run those guys down. Oh, my God, dude. He fucking charges this line of 4 people that before he would have just eliminated. He hit them, and there was no time between when he hit them and his fucking ass hit the ground. Pow! Right? Like that fucking he looks up, and he looks around like, what the fuck's going on? So he comes walking back and dragging his shield on one arm and his sword on the other like Linus, right? Like in the dirt. And I looked at him, I'm like, hey, skinny, get in the fucking back. You're not big enough to be up here with the real men anymore. A few years later, fucking big mouth. Right? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to fuck some bang. Like I was gone. Like I left the fucking scene. Oh, I fucking got launched. And as I'm walking back, Gunther looks at me and goes, hey, bitch. I was like, oh, you're a fucker.
Back of the line.
Now that I'm small, I can honestly say I killed myself with a salute. Because I'm going to tell you, when you're big, you got padding. Right? So you don't think about a lot of stuff. I have a specific salute I would do when I would go out to fight something. Right? I come up and I go like this, and boom, and off we go and we go fight. Right? There's my click on my brain. Right? There's the switch going to town. This guy at my practice, I loaned him my helmet, so I borrowed his helmet because he was trying to find a new helmet. And his gorget didn't work with that helmet, so we traded gorgets. I wear this fucking preacher's mantle. It comes out to here, chainmail, right, all this shit. I've lost all this weight. So we go out to fight. I'm wearing his helmet, his gorget, which is a dog collar, right, that goes down the back. Dog collar, right? Nothing out here. So we go to walk out to fight, and I'm like, okay, you ready? He goes, yeah. I go to salute. I go, whack, and I hit myself in the fucking collarbone that has no padding and no fat. Pap, and I go, good. And I go to leave, and he goes, what happened? I'm like, I killed myself. I'm dead, right? Like, no. He goes, what? I'm like, I just hit myself in the fucking collarbone. Like, you fucking skinny people. I'll tell people now to this day, I'm like, if I was this small when I first started fighting, fuck this game. I'd have been the best Laurel in the world. Nobody.
Yeah, no shit.
No, this game is stupid.
You ever notice that about your legs too? Like you have that mass when you're like a big guy and you throw these fucking bombing leg shots and you lose the weight, and the first time you get hit in the leg, you're like, oh, I'm such a dick. Oh my God, that hurts so fucking bad. Oh my God.
Right here. You guys want to know the reason why I lost weight? This is Eric Stormbringer right here.
What's up, kid?
Hello.
Hello.
All right.
There you go. You're now YouTube famous.
That right there is the whole reason why I'm now 250 pounds instead of 418. Right there.
So yeah, so leg shots are a thing though. I've been doing that recently. I feel like there's an episode of Family Guy where the like prisoner like stabs himself and he goes, "Is that what I've been doing to people? I belong in here." That's what I feel like. I'm like, this is dumb.
Oh yeah, no. Before it was like, okay, we would talk about footwork, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do footwork at 400 pounds. Fuck you, you're a turret, right? Like you go for it. Here's your killing V. If somebody gets out of it, you go, and you try to lock them into it. And you just put it on. Now, nobody touches me anymore. Fuck that. You get too close, I'm running away. Nope. Bones are near the surface. Y'all can kiss my ass. Fuck this game.
And you lose all that weight, you start putting armor on because you're like, this is bullshit. Straight bullshit.
Dude.
Yeah. So I went out to aeronautical fighter practice the other day. And because I was like, oh man, the Prince of Insula Draconis was there. And I was like, I'm gonna make a trip over. It's about an hour for me, not a big deal. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna fight. So of course I fight Sword of Madu, which is my first mistake. I don't have a big shield to hide behind anymore. Kikuchi, his lordship Kikuchi, is gonna help me fight Madu. So he's fighting Madu with me. He blew my hip up. And I don't mean like the hip, like the lower leg. I mean the fucking bone that's right there. I get in the car, I'm like, that's a little sore. Like, whatever, I've been sore before. I go to get out of the car, and you can ask Kisa. I leaned over to kick the leg out and screamed because it finally clicked in and he hit my bone multiple times. And I was like, you're an asshole. I fucking hate you so much right now because it hurts.
You see, I don't know if either of you have had any skin reduction surgery. I've had one, right? I had one. I had that flap that hangs over your junk, right? Yeah. Had that fucking thing removed, right? So I've got the longest C-section scar known to man, right? Because it goes from hip bone to hip bone. The problem is it numbs that area. So that whole thing as a night where we don't have to take shots to the belt, that's a joke, by the way. Don't fucking put that shit in the comments. It's a fucking joke. But, right, I'm numb where my belt sits. But right at the points where the skin pinches together, there's a little bump. I was fighting a buddy of mine, Big Dan, right? Big Dan is 6'10" and left-handed, right? Fucking giant. He hits me right at the end of it. I'm like, oh, goddamn, that burns. Ooh. That night at the end of practice, I go over and I pull my shit up and I'm like, hey, anybody see that? Everybody that saw it was like, ooh. I'm like, what? They go, he whipped a nipple on you. Like it swole up and it stuck out like an inch. They're like, I've never seen somebody beat a nipple on somebody before. Like that shit ain't cool. Yeah, that shit hurt.
I think anybody that hears 6'10" and left-handed too automatically goes, that guy's a dick.
But Big Dan is the nicest dude in the world, like so nice and gentle. But like one day he goes, I've mastered the art of standing far away from people so I don't make them intimidated. I'm like, Dan, that's bullshit. Like whatever. He goes, whoosh, and he's right here. And his fucking belly button is scratching me in the ear. I'm like, what? And I'm like, Dan, get the fuck off of me. And he takes his hand and he puts it on my, what I thought would be my shoulder. It's stretched across my back. I'm a full grown man. I'm like, man, if you don't get the fuck away from me right now, dude, I feel like, no, sorry, no. Like I felt like I was in prison and I did something bad and like it's on. Used to be big. I used to have the mouthy fucking small guys. Now I'm that guy.
Like I got shorter too. Did that happen? Like I lost 2 inches, and my girlfriend did not let me forget that. I lost 2 inches. I mean, I found it elsewhere. I got it.
I think it's like head fat and then foot fat. Like you get like shorter. Like
5'10" and a half.
Yeah, 5'10" and a half. That's adorable.
I was close to 6'2", and now I'm just barely over 6. Just barely over 6.
I'm angry average guy. That's my fucking job. I'm just angry average guy.
Like I'm excited to go out west because I'm gonna get to meet like Tulia and Pete and like Helga that are like super short. I'm like, this is great. I'm tall again.
Tulia is she was my drinking buddy, but she's like the pocket drinking buddy for like average size people. For y'all, she's gonna be like the breast pocket, right? And just I'm telling you, but she will fuck you up, dog. Like she left me in Alaska. Like we were drinking together, like because I had my small liver and she was tiny, right? So we're like, we'll split it up. We ordered 2 beers, second beer. I looked around, she was gone. Like left her brother, right? I was like, oh, that's jacked up.
I think one of the crazy parts about SCH on my size, even like when I was big, like 380, 390, 6'1", 6'1", 2-ish in that range, and I was still like an SCA medium. depending on what part of the country you're in, you know?
Yeah, at that point, you're SEA average.
Right.
Yeah. It's insane to me that just the amount of fucking man meat you see in the SCA.
No, I did. I came in with guys that are 6'4", 6'5", 6'10", big dudes, and I was like, I walked into my first SCA meeting, and I'm like, holy fuck. Like,
Yeah.
When I walk into a field and I look up to people like Tim and Kevin, and I'm like, we call Tim Duke Death from above, because good God, he's hitting you. It's from up here, and I'm a big dude. Like, no.
Yeah. He's like one of them guys, like, run across, like, I think it's probably Castle Wars, run across the field, like, I'm gonna get Tim, and I duck down. His dong is like, I'm like, that's bullshit, man. That's fucking bullshit. I
don't like this game anymore.
Yeah.
Put a cup on, for fuck's sake. That's a rule.
Can't find what he did. It spills out.
Right. Helmet rolls off. The helmet rolls off.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what. So apparently, I'm being sent to North Shield. I don't really know how that's gonna work out. I guess I got to go to North Shield now. So trip to North Shield. Woo! I don't know.
If we keep this up and people like it, we'll just start doing a comedy tour.
Right.
But I'm fuckbag, like whatever names y'all get. I'm using my cutesy name, fuckbag.
We have Holy If You Nasty, fuckbag.
Yeah.
Oh God. I'm just here to keep you guys like to an hour. That's the goal.
Ow, I just fucking pulled a hair out. Son of a bitch.
Dude, you're getting old, Fergus. Don't do that. You don't have a whole lot left.
Look at all that gray. Look at that shit. It looks like I was eating ice cream and just dripped it all over my face.
I was going to say, I'm the youngest of the crowd, and I look grayer than Holy does. Like, what the hell, man? How much do you dye your beard, Holy?
I don't know. It's just luck, I guess. You don't really notice it till your pubes start going gray. So I'm like every other day, like, am I there yet? Nope, still young. I'm good.
Speaking of being a big dude, I can see my pubes now.
Yeah. All of them. This fucking dewy thicket you got going on. You didn't realize you had.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I looked down that one day. I was like, "Where the fuck did you come from?"
Yeah.
Like, son of a bitch. Hi. I need to
That's
say
me.
hand.
I think everybody do that. They think they lose the weight and they look down like, I get the height now. Okay, yeah.
That's the thing I tell people. I get a lot of people that talk to me about the weight loss surgery and things that change, things like this. And I tell them, and I don't know how it is for you guys, but I'm like, look, I'm going to tell you exactly how it went for me. And there's no question that's off the record. Like nothing. Like I don't care. Right. And they'll kind of hint around like, look, right. I'm going to tell you right now. It don't get any bigger. It just don't got nothing in the way.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
So
there you go. Now we talked about our dicks on camera.
Done.
Welcome, folks. Sorry, Mom.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Hi, Mom.
Wouldn't be the last time.
Hi, Mom.
I like you said sorry twice on Facebook and in this thing. Like it's getting bad.
So when I comment on here, it sends to both Facebook and YouTube so everybody can see it. So you can see both. There you go. All right. So Fearghus, there's a story I need you to tell, and we'll get to the raccoon story in a minute. But
you're playing footsie with me, okay?
I am. Yeah. No, I'm gonna lead you into this because apparently it's a story. Apparently, you had to lock yourself in the privy to save the kingdom.
I shouldn't have said anything before the show, but
you shouldn't have. I need this story now because first of all, that's a terrible plan. That's a terrible way to end the story. But that's the punchline. How the hell did you get there?
Ooh.
So, buckle up, folks. Let's hear it.
All right. So, I have to say I'm a kingdom man, right? I'm here to protect the kingdom. And this was before I was a knight, way before I was a knight. Probably kept me from being a knight for another 5 or 6 years, right? So it was in Australia, long time ago. We went there. There's a gentleman from Japan. His name is Lord Vale. Lord Vale's an amazing man. He would come over to Australia, stuff like this, and he would bring people with him, stuff like this. It was amazing. Great dude. But to get really good alcohol over there, you have to go to an auction, right? So Vale went to an auction and he bought, from what I understand, I cannot confirm this, but from what I understand, he bought a case of absinthe.
Okay.
Real wormwood absinthe, like Blue Fairy, all yes. Right? I didn't know this. I'm a dumb redneck, right? So he comes over, ships stuff over, things like this. That's where the story starts in Japan. Like this story starts in Japan.
Okay.
Right? This is when I was big. Gunther and his lady at the time, Juliana, were Prince and Princess of Sonagua, which is a principality in the Kingdom of the West. It's northern central California. I was captain of the guard. We all went down to Estrella, having a great time. West Kingdom party. We're all drinking. At that time, I was a fan of single malt scotch. Loved it. But I wasn't the guy that was like, oh, it's single malt. Fuck that. Get the bottle. Let's get this shit going. Like I got shit to do. Right. So I'm probably half a bottle of scotch in. Right. Hanging out with the Prince and Princess because I'm there guarding the Prince and Princess. I don't know how drunk people do that. Guarding the Prince and Princess. Yeah. Big time.
Bigger quotes here. Guarding.
Right. And now, mind you, Gunther, best friend, right? Love the guy, he's my brother. His wife, really great friend. She's a horse lady. She's strong, you know. So she's not a fragile person, which is awesome, right? For me, because I'm the bull in the china shop all the time. Like shit gets pushed over. So we're partying and stuff like this. Vale comes up, and I'm going to say this in a way, and I do not mean this to be offensive in any way to anyone, right? This is what my drunk ass heard. Lord Vale comes up. We've been talking all day, and he comes up with this bottle, right? This green bottle. It's about. He goes, "Oh, you must try," right? And I'm like, "What's that?" He goes, "Oh," and I'm like, "Well, here, you got to try some of this." So I hand him my bottle of scotch, and he hands me the absinthe, and he turns around. Now, mind you, he's with 5 of his friends that he brought over, 3 of which said they did not drink. Right? That is important to the story. 3 of them said they did not drink. He turns around with this scotch and he's talking to them. He turns back around to see me with this bottle of absinthe like this. Right? Straight absinthe. Just gloop, gloop, like hammering it. And he goes, oh, like the look on his face when I told him was like, oh shit, we just killed the fat guy. Like he's gonna die. Like that's and I just right, I drink this is good. What is this? Right? And he goes to take it back. I'm like, no, right? And I fucking another 3 or 4, right? I don't remember anything else from this. What I'm going to tell you now is hearsay.
Okay.
There is physical proof, though, because apparently I got so drunk that I was telling jokes, being me, and I would tell a joke, and I would turn around, and I thought I was slapping Jeff on the back. Like, ha! It was Her Highness of Sonagua. Like, my big 400-pound meaty paw was whack, like I was hitting my best friend, right? Just slamming on her, right?
So again, protecting the princess right? At this point, right? Okay.
We start drinking. I start drinking with Vale, all this other shit. 3 of the guys in his group doesn't drink. From what I understand, later that night, everybody in Vale's camp was drunk, like just hammered, including all 3 of the dudes that didn't drink. One of them was found yards away from camp, and they just hung a flashlight around his neck, and he was wandering around, right? I got so drunk off this absinthe that I was like, my brain has an escape button from being a professional drinker my entire existence, right? My brain goes, if you don't leave now, you're not leaving. So it goes click, and I got another story for that. I was out, and apparently I went to the privy. I remember this part hazily. I went to the privy, and I got in the privy. I'm like, I'm going to be sick. So I got in there, I closed the door, locked the door, right? I start getting sick. I don't turn around to like puke in the no, I just bonk, right, choof, right, like paint the walls, right. So I'm sitting in this thing. My squire brother at the time, who has now since passed, and I miss you, man, would sit outside. He was non-drinker, and he would take his pocket knife and like try to open the door to get me out to save me from my. And I would slam the door lock shut. I'm like, I'm standing here for the safety of the kingdom. I'm protecting the kingdom from me. Blah. Right? Like, seriously. For hours, right? They decide, now my knight, who is Duke Rolf the Relentless, for whom relenting is not an option, does not drink at all, right? My wife had already gone to bed. Or my wife had already gone to bed. So my squire brother was like, we got to get somebody over here to get Fearghus out of the fucking bathroom, right? So they go, it's either his wife or his knight. They picked my knight, thank God, right? So
that was a smart choice.
I'm in the privy. All of a sudden, I hear dum, dum, dum on the thing, and I'm like, I'm saving it. And I hear Rolf from outside with a dead voice. Fergus. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in trouble, right? He goes, you need to come. So I open the door and I step out of the privy, and here is my buddy, my squire brother, standing there with a towel, a new tunic, right? And he peels the vomit encrusted tunic off of my. This is how much this man loves me, and how much he's a wonderful man. Peels this thing off of me, puts the new tunic on me, hands me the towel, wipes me off. Rolf goes, go to bed. I was like, I go to bed, right? The next morning, I open my eyes and I feel like the sun is sitting in my skull, right, just on fire. And I get up, and my wife's looking at me, and I'm like, and I get up, and as I walk out my pavilion, Rolf is standing there, full regalia, looking at me. And I'm like, he goes, you know what you got to do? I'm like, yes, your grace. And I hung my head, and I walked to every encampment, not just every encampment, apologizing for what I did the night before, right? And I go, and they're like, and now you have to clean the privy. I'm like, I know. And I walk over to clean the privy. The people that were running the place had taken caution tape and fucking just taped it shut. Like, and I was like, I got like, no, we don't open that. We're not opening it. Yo, it was a mistake. No. I'm like, they might have just burnt it. There might be a plastic puddle there because
hang it up. Yeah.
I lost a pouch. I lost a bunch of necklaces. Like, I don't know, like hundreds of dollars of jewelry gone. Right? I deserve every bit of it. But yeah, I locked myself in the privy to protect the kingdom from myself. That's a true servant of the kingdom.
There you go. That's how you be a knight right there, folks. That's true knightly behavior.
So
the next day was backup day.
Oh,
my wife was like, no, fuck you.
That's the fucking worst. If you've got a week-long event, you always plan, like, if you know you got to go home Sunday, you're going to fucking burn the motherfucker down on Friday, right?
Look at this face. Do you think I'm a thinker?
No.
Like, what part of this face thinks I'm good at, like, play? Like,
he gets hit in the head a lot, so.
I block with my face.
Yeah.
I've been, like, like, if you don't have a good, like, fucking Porta-John privy story, like, you ain't fucking living. That's my opinion. Like at some point, everybody needs a good fucking, especially as many events as we go to that have fucking Porta-Johns, like the Porta-John shenanigans. There's goddamn so many. So I'm very big on escalation, right? So like like it is not about like the gradual step. If somebody strikes, you gotta fucking nuke them. You gotta end that shit, right? So I'm like most knights and squires, like a king's man, and like about your fucking knight. Even after you get knighted, like I know, like I'm a professional squire. Like my knight is still my knight. My squires are still my squires, even if they've been knighted. You have an investment in that shit. So when I see another knight getting my fucking knight shit housed. Right, I know he's got a weak liver. He's not like the rest of us. Like we've got shark livers. They start in our fucking armpit, they end somewhere around our asshole. Right, like my knight, he's weak in that area. So I'm like, you're preying on the weak, and I hate a fucking bully. So after I see this go down, I follow this motherfucker around for like 2 fucking days of Gulf Wars because I know at some point he's got a shit. Right, and there's nowhere to shit on Gulf Wars, especially in the area he's at. Other than the fucking Porta-John. And that's why you always carry zip ties, my friend. Because the motherfucker, the minute he goes to take a shit and you hear that thing drop, and you just gotta wait, because you're gonna hear it, because it's a fucking Porta-John. That's your moment. You fucking zip tie the motherfucker shut, and you spin the fucking door so it's facing the motherfucking door. That's how you get revenge on the motherfucker who fucks with your knight, who's got a weak little liver.
All right, so I need to know who James's knight is. I don't want to fuck with that guy. So
the other thing is too, like but let's back up that Porta-Johns can also be your safe area too, because like I didn't believe in fucking belt bunnies when I got knighted. Like I didn't think, like I thought it was a fucking myth. You get knighted and there's just gonna be this fucking gaggle of women. It's like, oh my god, a brand new knight. But it fucking exists, and you got to be careful for them, because I'm pretty sure they carry the monkeypox and syphilis. So you got to watch out for them ladies. So Porta-John is always pretty much a safe bet. I was deep into my pups. I noticed a couple of them, and I'm like, Those are skinks. I know the breed, right? So you just got to kind of fucking skid down loft and you slide in the fucking porta-john and you just wait it out. The problem is you can't be too drunk because if you wait it out too long, your ass will pass out in the fucking porta-john. That fucking happens, my friends. And the only thing that's going to wake you up the next morning is the fucking blistering heat of Gulf Wars beating down on a fucking handicap stall that you've been in for 9 goddamn hours. And the worst part, Bob, worst, the absolute worst, isn't the smell and the heat. It's the fact that your motherfucking legs have gone numb and you can't get your goddamn pants up. That's the problem. So you got to stand up, put your shit together, and you hit the goddamn ground. Yeah. So everybody needs to get told that story.
So no zip ties and watch out for. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
The thing I didn't mention is you really need good friends because when you disappear in the middle of the fucking night, or good squires, because I disappeared for God knows how long past out in the fucking porta-john, nobody came to check. Nobody was like, where's fucking James? When I go rolling in fucking doing the Humpty dance in the fucking camp because I can't feel my legs the next morning, nobody's like, how are you doing? Where are you fucking been? There's like typical, you know.
Yeah, so that's my squires. I'm going to tell you right now, and I love my squires to death, but we have an understanding. You fuck with each other as much as possible, and I'm the main target. Like our household, our squire tonight salute is, hey, like there will not be a time where you don't see us flipping each other off, right? And it's like, trust me, they all have my back, and I love it, and all this other stuff, and I got their back. But boy, you want to talk about giving each other shit? Oh shit, no, right? Like, it's like I can beat up on my night all I want, but you can't fucking touch that motherfucker. I'll tell you that.
Well, it's that philosophy, right? Iron sharpens iron, and people don't realize that. Like that's really what it is. Like inside, because my squires, I got a pack of fucking heathens, and I fucking love them. I fucking love them. Because when I'm like, hey, we're gonna go fuck some shit up, they never ask like, you know, like what are we gonna fuck up? They're just like, how much? You know, they're fucking penny per pound type, and I fucking love that. I fucking love it.
I know my weak point. It's not thinking, as we all know. So I got a bunch of fucking smart squires. So they're like, no, boss, we're gonna think our way fucking through this. Hold on. I'm like, but we gotta go. They're like,
yeah,
that's not gonna work. Okay, you go smash your face on that. We'll be right there, but get it out your system, and now we'll fucking deal with the problem.
Right.
So here's this is a peripheral story. It didn't happen to me, but goddamn is it funny thing about Squire. So there's a 9 out of 8 squire called Jonathan Byrne, right? Mm-hmm. Super cool guy, former cop, really chill guy. Apparently at Gulf Wars, his squires decided they were going to fuck with him, and he's got a big armor box and stuff. So they throw down in his fucking armor box this novelty size dildo, right? And by novelty size, like 15 to 18 inches, novelty size.
It's got a backup beeper.
Yeah, it is fucking unbelievable. So they throw down his fucking armor, and they put it like in his like coat of plates and shit. So when he goes to pull it out, his fucking giant fucking dong rolls out, right? And that to me is fucking gorgeous. The bad problem is when you have another motherfucker who's like, hey, I need that fucking dildo. And the squire's like, fetch it up. That's like, yeah, squires, you hide that fucking evidence. Now, I didn't buy somebody on Suburban, but you hide that motherfucker in your belt, and middle of the fucking scrum at Gulf Wars, you just let it slip, right? So when they call a hold and they start pulling the dead out, next thing you know, there's this fucking novelty size fucking dildo coming out. I go, who's this? And it's flopping around, and then that's when you start in, like, oh my God, somebody knocked the dick off that dude, don't need to calm it down. I'm like, so yeah.
I miss going to Gulf Wars. I fucking gotta go. I live here now. Next year.
Oh, you got me, man.
If fucking COVID would stop this bullshit, I'd be on it. Like, I'd love to fucking travel.
So speaking of drinking in Gulf Wars this year, there's a parade planned, if I'm not mistaken.
Next year, man. Yeah, like so I'm all about when I'm not doing oily shit. Like, I'm all about serving from the bottom up. So, yeah, we want to do, like, a plebeians parade. I think that'd be badass. The night,
are you
like,
saying you're at the bottom, James?
Good. Well, you know, the situation calls.
Well, you know, I'm going to make an Atlantean joke, but I won't because that'll get me all political.
It's true.
So like you had big, opening ceremonies is cool and it's really big. Like if you're on this side of the throne, like yeah, you get to parade out and everybody's it's the crowns, and that's cool. I mean, right, it is very cool. There's a lot of theatrical shit that happens, especially when you get rolled out in a giant fucking Viking ship.
Right.
But like from the other side, like man, they should have their moment too, right? And speaking historically too, man, the plebes did all types of crazy cool shit that was legal. So like I'm like the same night as opening ceremonies, I want to do like a little plebeians parade where we like fucking make little like taco carts and beer carts and shit, little parade carts, and fucking roll them down to 5 points and have an old school like throwdown.
Let me know what those carts need because I love to work with wood. Let's fucking make some.
That'd be badass. That'd be badass. And everybody can get their 40 John story.
Right. Oh, and by the way, I got to point out two people. I just looked over the comments. Nathan Kroger, that's my brother-in-law, and he was there for when I locked myself in privy.
So he was there for the Porta story.
X-Moan, I call him X-Moan because I have it for years. Simone, that man is the greatest man since sliced bread. Like that dude is fucking amazing. I love that dude. I've known him for years. He's one of the people that helped raise my stupid ass in the SEA for years.
Oh, so we can blame Shimon for you.
Dude, no. He is way too good for that. He was always the one that was like, "Oh, you did that." Like,
I've seen that face.
My third event, I left camp in a kilt, proper kilt, with 2 bottles of alcohol stuck in my belt, and the girl that I was hitting on that I really wanted to hook up with because she was super awesome, and the entire camp. I woke up the next morning laying on the side of the the list field. I'm sorry, the list field.
The list field, yeah.
While the girl that I was hitting on reached up and grabbed my kilt like this and goes, yeah. Oh. I was full on, what the? Yeah. Laying on the side of the list field. I just looked at her like, yeah, it's not going to work. She goes, nope. Right? Like, I had to do dishes for the entire rest of the year in camp to pay for the amount of embarrassment that I gave because I was bad, dude, bad. But I've known Simone forever.
I heard something this year at Gulf Wars, which I thought was fucking amazing. A buddy of mine, Viscount Owen from up in Alaska, he had a little too much to eat at the Jello shot party, right? Because if you're eating it, it's not booze, right? So the next morning, I caught up with a bunch of his buddies. I'm like, hey, how's he doing? They're like, oh, he's guilt shopping. I'd never heard that before. But I was like,
speaking of your wife, I blame your wife for most of the people drunk at that party.
Yeah, I mean,
she was tossing Jello shots at people. That was ridiculous.
And those are worth it.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, I've been up there a few times. And those motherfuckers keep going, hey, Fearghus, you need to come up here during winter. I'm like, no, it violates a rule. And they're like, what are you talking about? Because I've been to it. It's gorgeous. Like, oh, my God, the first time I went to a Worth, we went up there for a cornet. We drove through like 3 hours. We drove through the most gorgeous places in the world, like fucking green and mountains and fucking bears on the side of the road doing the little dance and like the fucking whole shit. And we're onto a gravel fucking parking lot, and that's where the event was. I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? Like, I just drove through the most gorgeous shit in the fucking world, and you got me in the middle of a gravel fucking what? Right? Yeah, those motherfuckers keep going, hey, Fearghus, you need to come up here during the winter. I'm like, nope, violates the rule. And they're like, what rule's that? I'm like, Fearghus goes nowhere where my balls could literally freeze and fall off. Nope, I'm out, right? That's a rule. Hard line right there. I'm out.
That's the thing. The SCA makes some weird-ass decisions about events sometimes. I've seen some like that. So Dalwhinnie is a site we have here in Meridier that is gorgeous. Has all this badass stuff, like some buildings. We had our last coronation in the field next to Dalwhinnie. And I was like, okay, that's a decision we made. Sure. Okay. Like the thing we did. I've seen that. That's a weird thing. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that they had lost the original site. But I gave them shit. Like we went up there and I'm like, oh, I heard stories about all you worth. This is the first time I heard all stories about all you worthings. And they're like walking around with their pieces of rattan and pick up their sword. And I'm like, that's average. What are y'all doing? And they're like, what? I'm like, I heard stories about you at Worthens would just walk out in the middle of the fucking forest and tear a tree out of the ground and rip the dirt off the bottom and beat the shit out of each other. Yeah, they do that. Holy shit. They beat me like a soapy dick. I swear to God. Like it
we
was
still
bad.
about Atlanteans too, though. So you know,
No,
like,
don't you fucking poke fun. Shut your mouth. You.
Somebody asked what I was. Somebody asked what I was drinking.
Throwing gasoline on
Yeah.
a fucking fire, Cal. I'm telling you right now.
Bourbon Barrels Espelon, Mexico.
It's tequila. Tequila's my power animal. So there you go. Yeah. Somebody mentioned too, like we were talking about this pre-show about like how weight loss has affected our drinking, and all of us were talking about this pre-show. Like, and I think all of us can agree. Like, so you get tipsy faster, but you sober up super fucking quick. So like before, you know, for me drinking a fifth of something, like if I drink a fifth in a night, I was fucking shit hammered. That was it.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not getting through the fifth. Now, if I sip on a fifth, I can get through the whole night sipping on it, you know, as long as I maintain that level, and the next morning feel fine. So I think all of us still have fucking shark livers. It's just our fucking bellies are just like, oh, we know what this is. The rest of our body's like, you know, we know it holds so fucking much, but our body's like, oh, we know how to process this. So kicks it out.
Yeah. I am 30-minute drunk. I turned into a 30-minute woo girl.
Yeah.
So it is ridiculous. You know why I'm drunk? Because I go, woo! And 30 minutes later, stone cold sober.
Yeah,
it's
and that's
really annoying.
It's like I tell people, it's like we've been real. If you think about it like a competition, we have been exercising our livers like they were going to the fucking Olympics, right, for years. And then we went, you're done. Right. And now we can only give it so much because we only got so much room. And our liver goes, fuck, I can handle that. Like, bring it on, bitch.
Right. Yeah, it's not that much. I think for most people too, like we change, like, because not that I've ever been like a huge beer drinker or anything like that, but like anything with like a lot of like, like I still don't drink, you know, but like now I do like shots because I know like, okay, like I'm not going to drink as much. And there's things that I like that I can do shots, or like a heavy stout cocktail, which I like. So you do one or two of those and that's kind of it. And I'm kind of trained myself, like if I know I'm going to do fucking car bombs, like I know how much liquid that is, I know how much I can eat, I know how much I can prep for it. I fucking stretch out, I do my yoga, I fucking do whatever, I go do my fucking car bomb, you know, and then I wait my 20 minutes or whatever, 15 minutes or so, fucking stretch out again, fucking do my next car bomb, and by then I'm like usually good, you know, but you know.
That's yoga I can get behind. Car bomb yoga, like that's right there. Like I get to see the stretching. All right.
You don't want to see the stretching. You don't want to see the stretching. You can go to my OnlyFans and see the stretching.
Right.
I ain't got that much money. I hear you. Well, they used to have to pay us by the pound, but fuck, we'd go broke.
Yeah. Now. Yeah. The stretching for that is not for public consumption.
That's right. Yeah, I've got so okay. All right. I'm gonna tell my one drunk story I've got, and then we're gonna have Fearghus tell his the raccoon story because we are almost out of time. So my one drunk story, because I can't get drunk anymore. I didn't think I could get drunk then. And since we have two knights in the room with me, if you heard the phrase, I don't think I can get drunk, would either of you take that as offense?
No, I almost killed somebody because they said that.
Right.
Yeah.
So apparently in Meridies, certain Sir Alexander Brighthelmsons, and I will call him out by name, take that as a personal offense. Now, my dumbass, first event after my 21st birthday, I uttered this phrase, and my girlfriend at the time goes to Lex and tells him this, and Lex goes, oh, that's cute. This is 450-pound cow. Big dude. With a broke leg at the time, let me point that out, gets sat on the porch of Hit List, little cabin thing, and Lex puts a bottle of Bacardi in one of my hands, and whatever they wanted to in the other. I drank every beer, every vodka, everything they would hand me that night. And if I wasn't drinking that hand, I had to drink the Bacardi. Now, the terrifying part about this is, I don't remember this. I know part of this from video and part of this from hearsay, is that I got so drunk, they were like, oh God, he's probably going to die. So to Mistress Eleonora's credit, she went, yeah, he's going to die. We should fix that. So they started giving me all these home remedies to make me get rid of the alcohol in my system. Mustard and cooking oil and just, all of that. Gatorade mixed with none of that did anything. I'm like, that's fun. I'm over there singing Shield Wall with Mark, like I'm 2 measures behind going, woo, the whole time. The thing that made me lose my alcohol was 1 shot of Jameson. That did it. There's the best story I've heard of this night is when I threw up finally. It came out, and they said it like paused midair and then fell. All over me, all over the porch, all over everything. Now, this is now a 450-pound cow with a broke leg covered in vomit. What do?
Get a hose.
Lex and his squires hosed my big ass off.
That's all you can do, right?
What you can do.
So I knew that when I was big. Like I knew my alcohol limit because I knew, like, if I fucking pass out, this is where I fucking lay. That's it. Nobody's getting me back to fucking camp. Like, nobody's fucking getting me up. Like, that's it.
Oh, but they did. That's the fucked up part. They got a truck and rolled it over to me. They picked me up and threw me in the truck and then put a cargo net over me to drive me across the field to the cabins.
Okay, I'm gonna make a fat joke. Did they at least like throw water on you to keep your gills wet?
Trust me, I was damp enough at that point. I was very damp from the hosing. Now, to Lex's credit, so Lex at the beginning of the night said, "I'll take care of him. He's my responsibility," and Lex did. He got me to bed. He took me. He held me so I could pee, and put me to bed. I will give Lex all the credit for that.
As a proper night should, right?
As a proper night should. I will like. Regardless of what else Lex does in his life, that is a he would get the credit for me. The next morning, I wake up and I'm like, "Oh, cool, got this. I'm perfect." I was still drunk. I walked to breakfast on my broke ass leg. Like, it's fun. I got this. It hit me about 2 hours into the drive home.
That's the worst.
Yeah. I was so sick. Oh my god! So yeah, that's my one drunk story. I
even to this day, back when I was super, when I was big and stuff, but like even to this day, like I hit a point you could drive me like a Zeppelin. You just kind of grab my elbow, you can lead me any fucking where you want, because I know if I hit the fucking ground, I'm done. Yeah. So like ever hit that point where like, James, too fucking much. You just kind of pinch my elbow and I just kind of go. You just drive me fucking back to bed and fucking dump me off or whatever. Like, who fucking knows?
Right.
Put me somewhere safe. Ever at a thing together and I just disappear, trust me, I've hit that thing. Because like I said before, my brain has an off switch. And it knows where home is. And it goes, I don't leave right fucking now. Like,
mine doesn't. Mine doesn't. I need to be driven to bed. Thankfully, I have a pretty good reflex, like, for penetration. So, like, if anybody tries to go in, I'll fucking gator grip and roll and yank a fucking finger off. So I've got that going for me.
No, I've got Cal, your story. I got one like that for next fucking month.
Next time. All right. So we are nearing the end of the show, but Fearghus, I think we've had our pillow talk now. We've flirted a little.
I feel that. I felt a little rubbing.
We need the raccoon story.
Yeah, I'm warm and moist on the inside.
Yeah. Because Remote will be mad at me if I don't. So let's hear it.
All right. So the story I'm about to tell, I have proof. If we ever get Gunther on here, he can confirm it because he talked to my father, who was part of this. This story happened in Mississippi when I was young. Probably when I was like 10 or 11, right? So my father and I look exactly alike, right? My father, big barrel-chested Southern man, was raised in Arkansas, hardworking, everything else like this, hunter, fisher, the whole bit. But he had a weird sense of humor, very, very weird sense of humor, right? So one day we're all sitting in our house in Mississippi, right? In standard Southern springtime summer uniform, which means that my brother, my mother, and myself were all sitting in the front room in our underwear because it's fucking hot. You Southern motherfuckers know, like, fuck that. If company ain't coming, you're in your tighty whities, literally humping the air conditioner because it's fucking hot. And I now remember this because I now live in South Carolina. Right? Ooh, my body went, oh, guess what?
It's the humidity.
Gold bond and be ready, right? So, 10 years old, sitting there in my little tidy whities, my brother, my mom. My dad comes in the house, right? looks like this, but a little bigger, right? Big barrel chest. Comes in the house. He's carrying a log. And I don't mean like a log, like I mean the fucking log, like this, right? And he's got a fucking coat stuffed in one end, another coat stuffed in this end, and a t-shirt stuffed in a hole in the top, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Right? And he comes in and he's giggling. Now I'm gonna tell you, if anybody looks like me, walks into a situation giggling, fucking leave. Just leave. Don't ask. Like leave. Right? I'm like, right? My mom's all, Vernon, what are you doing? He goes, I brought y'all a present. And I'm like, oh, you did what? He goes, I brought y'all a present. And he lays this log down in the middle of the front room. Middle of the fucking front room. Right? And I'm like, okay, what do you got? Because now, mind you, my dad has brought home some interesting things, like a full-size cow, dead, like snakes, like all this shit, right? So it's on, right? We're that redneck. Sets it down, and he goes, ha, 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 starts laughing. And he reaches down and he grabs the coat at one end of that fucking log and snatches it the fuck out. And when he does, 3 wild raccoons, full fucking size raccoons, come fucking shooting out this log like somebody lit them on fire. Right, they're fucking running around the fucking front room. One of them runs into the kitchen, and all you hear in the kitchen is like a fucking grenade went off. Fucking shit going on. One of them runs straight out the front door. My dad yells at his buddy, shut the door. I'm like, what? He shuts the door, right? So fucking raccoon in the kitchen, fucking shit up. The other raccoon runs to the fucking corner, right? Boom, and runs up the wall. Gets about halfway doing this. Shoot, slides back to the corner and turns around, right? My dad is fucking laughing. We have all jumped up and we are now standing on our fucking chairs, right? Because here's the rule. There's a rule in life. Never fucking deviate from this rule. If it has thumbs, don't fuck with it, right? Just don't fuck with shit with thumbs. This is a fucking rule, and it's coming up, right? My dad goes, boy, because I'm Southern male, right? And your name is boy until you fight your father in the fucking front yard. You know this, whatever. Don't fucking make out like you know, right? Your name is boy. So my dad goes, boy. I'm like, yes, sir. He goes, I want you to go out to my shop and get my welding gloves. I'm like, somebody about to get fucked up, and I don't know who it is, but I'm going to watch, right? Because I've always been a spectator, right? So I fucking, now mind you, I'm running across the front yard. We live in rural Mississippi, right? So it's not like it's fucking neighbors, right? Across the front yard, in my fucking underwear, bare feet, right? Get my dad's welding gloves, come back. And now there's old school welding gloves that want to come up to like the here, and they're the asbestos, like they give you cancer just looking at them, like those, right? Brown leather, we've all seen them, right? In movies, like of old-timey movies. I come in, I'm like, here you go, Dad. And I run back over to the couch and stand on the couch. I'm like, I'm watching. So my dad puts the welding gloves on. Now, mind you, standard Southern male, blue jeans, slip-on shoes, a white T-shirt with a cigarette rolled up in the thing, right, with the pot. That's my dad, right? That's half my fucking genetics right there, right? He fucking puts the welding gloves on. He looks at this fucking raccoon who is in the corner, right? Poof, it fuck all the hair. It's so angry, like it's fucking making all this racket, and his hair standing straight up, and you can see like little fucking sparks of electricity between the hairs, like it's fucking pissed. And my dad goes. He starts walking at this thing. I'm like, ooh, something bad about to happen. That's half my genetics. Something bad about him. My dad comes up like this. He's getting closer to fucking, right? My dad gets closer. He goes, whoosh, and both hands go in at this fucking raccoon, right? This raccoon spins and grabs a hold of his fucking hand. Pow! With thumbs, right? Whack! He goes, ha! And bites onto his fucking finger right here. Right fucking there. Now we've all seen that Mickey Mouse, Goofy, old school cartoon where they went to the beach and Mickey got that crab stuck on his finger, on his paw. That's my dad with a 15-pound fucking raccoon in the front room, fucking slinging this thing, and it's not letting go. It has pierced through the fucking gloves and through his finger. He like this, and he goes whoosh. And it pops off, not his finger, but the raccoon. It goes bang! It hits the fucking wall, right? Bang! Slides down the wall. I reach over and I grab a hold of the doorknob and throw the door open. Fucking raccoon runs out the front room. Right, gone into the night. right? My dad pulls the fucking thing out. There's blood. Like, I'm fucking like, fuck, I'm screwed for the rest of my life because that's as far as I get to go in fucking evolution is right there, right? But so everything calms down, right? Like, oh, everybody's laughing. My dad's bleeding. Like, this is awesome. Everybody goes to bed. Did we forget about the other fucking raccoon I talked about? No, we did fucking not. Right? I always been an early riser, so I get up in the morning. And I'm out. I'm gonna go in and have me some fucking cereal. So I walk in the fucking kitchen, and I go over the thing, and I pull the bowl down, I get my fucking spoon, and I go over the fucking refrigerator, and I pull out the milk, and I set it on the counter, and I reach over, I walk over to the fucking cabinet, and I open the cabinet. Boom! And there's a fucking set of eyeballs looking at me. I'm like, holy shit! Whack! And I slam the fucking thing, and all you hear is the shit going fucking crazy. I'm holding the fucking door. I'm 10 fucking years old. And it gets quiet. I'm like, I'm looking, no raccoon. I'm like, all right. I reach up. Nope, got into that one. Nope, got it. Oh, I didn't get into this one. Boom. Poured my fucking cereal. Went and ate my fucking cereal. That goddamn raccoon lived in my fucking attic for 5 years. 5 years. Now you hear somebody. And you would get up in the morning and be like, what did he fucking eat today that we can't fucking have? Like, we didn't have pasta ever. Like, it was just gone. Like, we had to put it in fucking jars. And when it figured out with the thumbs, they could open the lid. That was fucking gone too. So I'm going to tell you right now, in your life, never fuck with an animal with thumbs because you're done. They will fuck you up. They don't care.
There you go. All right. I'm going to go ahead and hit the button. Oh, come on, make the noise.
Giant red-headed human being. Seriously. Fucking slinging a raccoon across the goddamn room.
Don't
sling and that was the stupidest thing my dad has ever done.
Well, he had you first, so that's the second stupidest thing, right? Yes. All right. Coming up next on Kal-bardr's Corner, I'll be back this Sunday all by my lonesome talking about rule number 1, which is fucking don't be a dick, but also have fun. So coming out on Sunday at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, have some coffee, come hang out and chat.
That always confuses me when they're like, rule number 1. I'm like, don't make eye contact and devil's three-way? And they're like, that's not rule number 1, James. Like,
okay, there are 3 rule number 1s now, apparently. Don't make eye contact and a devil's three-way. Anyways, tune in for that. As Mary Kate said earlier, make sure to press the like button and subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, go over to YouTube and fucking press the buttons over there. We appreciate you. Thank you, Mary Kate, for doing that shout out. I am the worst YouTube host ever. I forget all of that nonsense. So, anyways, do that. And if you want to support us on Patreon, look us up on Patreon, patreon.com/KK Productions or /KK Productions. Want to fucking put a slash in there? I don't know. Pick a slash, it'll work. And check us out. You can join the grand wall of patrons. You also can buy a sticker or 2 on Redbubble. Search KK Productions. Also, check me out on TikTok at Kal-bardr. I haven't posted a lot recently, but there is a 52-hour trip coming up of me going to West Ontario or Ontario West War, and then the trip back that's going to get documented on TikTok. So go watch that. It's going to be.
And it's West Ontario because West is the oldest.
Look, I'm not going to argue with who's. It says Ontario West on the Facebook event because Ontario's hosting this year. I will admit I am grumpy that I'm going to go all the way to California and I only get to add 1 merit badge to my bag because the event's in Ontario technically.
Uppity older freaking principalities.
So, I don't get to add 2 merit badges to my bag because they moved the Crapeau a week up. So, but that will be an interesting show. So there will be a pre-recorded Coffee with Cal that week because apparently there's a NOAA signal on site. So look forward to that. I'll be hanging out with Thorfinn and some of the others. Talking about the Crapeau. So there you go. Gentlemen, I appreciate your time this evening. I feel like we have quite a few more stories to tell, and we'll be back
more
next
raccoon stories.
More raccoon stories.
More.
Okay.
I have I watched Dukes of Hazzard leaning on a cow in my underwear.
On that note, we're going to say goodnight. So, folks, we appreciate you tuning in. Look forward to us coming back the second-ish Thursday of next month. We'll be back here, same damn time, same damn channel. But until then, this has been Holy, Fearghus, and Cal in Kal-bardr's Corner. Have a good day, everybody.